Music producers are always looking for the next big sound so that they can be unique and they can stand out from the rest. So consider me the messenger. My children, I have a great sound that comes from the drum and bass world that is guaranteed to make even the shirtless white dude with a hairy chest go wild to your track. So what I want you to do is I want you to open up Serum and let's put in two basic shapes. You want to go with the science because it's going to be the fundamental frequency. It's the holy virgin wavetable did by society. It's like it doesn't have an identity. It doesn't have an ego. One will go -3 and we're going to leave this one at 0. Let's lower the volume down on oscillator B and we're going to have this. Subby, not too strong. But now what I want you to do is go into the effects section and apply a distortion. For this tutorial, we're going to use ASIN, but you have multiple choices. Just like I like Kool-Aid that is grape, you might like orange or strawberry. Grape's the shit though. But as I distort this, you can hear that we corrupt. We introduce a bit of Hennessy, a little Patron shot into the sign, and now it develops character, as we say. Watch what happens when I start to introduce oscillator B. Yeah, I see the tech house guys going salivating. This is called wave shaping, and this is what the drum and bass producers use as the national anthem for their sounds. Do it a lot because depending on the ratio of this guy on top, you can get really interesting sounds. Now, here's the cool thing about it. You don't have to be clean. You can start to implement a -2 here, for instance. Check this. Sounds so wrong, but so right. We can also go +7. 0. Now, this is the traditional foghorn, and what drum and bass producers will do is they will be like Egyptian gods and ask people to give them fucking grapes to eat. So what this means is the LFO is going to be like our little slave that we're going to route to things. And we can route it to the level, can route it to the distortion to create the movement that we want from this. So for instance, oh yeah, and then we can slow that down. Speed it up. From there, we can also add this LFO to the level here. Okay, we can go low here. Okay, now from here, you can get rid of the low end so that we can go into where no man dare go, which is below where your sub should be at. To create these cool sounds. Now from here, we can start to add unison here. So that means 2, 3, 4, 5 signs are going to come out. Now you start getting stuff like this. From here, let's add a sub if you want the low end from there. Okay, and then from there, you can add this LFO there to stay true to the shape of the sound. Can't fuck with that sound, man. Now imagine if you were to find a way to put this into a tech house, techno, or bass house track. That is the power. Now let's go back to the basics of this, because from here I can start to do this. You know, and just keep it somewhat basic. But the key thing that I'm trying to teach you here is wave shaping, using science to create leads. You don't have to move them if you don't want to. So for the bass house guys, this might be entailing, you know, just having a lead that sounds like this. And then adding like a filter at the end of it and malpeing it up, where maybe I'll like do the tech house gate to it. So dirty, bro. Give it some body. Ooh, if we put it here, we can normie it. Now that's just the tip of the iceberg, because with foghorns, you can do so much crazy stuff. For example, here's a good one. Let's use a triangle for the low end, because the triangle is going to have a lot more harmonics in a sine. You know, it's this combination. -3. Let's put this -2 like we did before. Let's add 2 unison. We talked about going up in level to get the distortion to do its cool thing. Now let's play around with some other alternatives. Let's bring this LFO here. And let's have this one go down and then come up. And let's have this one, the bottom one, go up and come down. So like envelope on. Like so. Let's apply an ASIM distortion to this. And now we're starting to add movement. Yep. Here we go. Let's add a low pass here so that we can mellow it out more. And let's add a bit of noise here, which is another valid technique used to add a bit of graininess on top of a sound. Yeah. Composure is key. Let's add a sign here. Triangle. Direct it out. Okay, now you can kind of hear what's going on. Let's add an FM from B here. And let's use another LFO to move this guy. And then from there, let's mono legato now with maybe some portamento. Ooh. Okay, we need a bit more distortion. Let's add a bit of +1 maybe. From here, let's clean the sound up. We'll do a little bit of a duck like that. Let's clean up the mids a bit so that it sounds a little cleaner, because remember, we already have a sub coming from here, direct out. Now we have a cool breakdown sound for techno. We can also, for bass house, just lower the... I mean, this is a next level reese that people can use. From here, we can change the distortion. And we can go the opposite way with the LFO instead. So that way it's coming from, you know, darkness. Experiment. Let's go the other way. Okay, and from here again, you can add a filter to shape this further. So you can distort heavily to get that nasty sound, and then now the idea of this is, again guys, just to go back to the basics, because I feel like I'm going a bit too fast. All we're doing is just bringing up one of these guys like slowly. I could go with a saw, but now I want to use a filter so that it doesn't sound lame. See, that sounds kind of lame. So let's use a filter on just B and maybe accentuate a certain part that we want of the frequency. Now we have that. Now I can add even this on top if I wanted to get this. No, that's too, yeah, let's lower. And at the same time, I can add this LFO to the pitch to make this go from top to bottom if I wanted to, slowly. There we go. Let's add a delay on the tops. Sounding sex. Here I can bring the sub in and use it as a layer to, again, add even more dirt to this. Let's bring it in. And with these techniques, you can make great sounds like these. By just bringing up the level. The last thing I have to say is you can also add FM and slowly bring that up to create a foghorn. So for example, we can have FM, and the idea is again to slowly move it up. And that creates that really cool effect. Okay, and from there, since the saw is bringing in those upper harmonics, I can use a filter to get rid of that. And then from there, add my effects to just make it sound fucking dope. Foghorns are amazing to use because, as you can see, you can shape them into different sounds that fit the genre of techno, bass house, and tech house. They have yet to be implemented in these genres, so if you're looking for inspiration on new sounds, always look to different genres, find the meta sounds that they have, and see how you can use those. If you found this inspirational, then consider checking out the brand new drum and bass pack I have called All Stars. One of the best drum and bass packs for the harder style of drum and bass, which is what a lot of tech house DJs are playing at the moment. As surprise drops, every sound has been inspired by a proven to work sound from the Beatport's Top 100 and Spotify playlist. So if you want to break out of the norm, it's the best way to do it, and also the best way to support the channel. Now, if you're looking to further your knowledge forward, check out this video I made on how the pros make their leads sound more interesting. I look at some of the top Beatport tracks and I break down what they did to their leads to make them sound from bland to epic to unique. And with that being said, happy producing.